Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC, your home for everything Liverpool. Today we've got huge updates. Carragher fires a $100 million warning at Arne Slot. Giovanni Leone speaks after his ACL surgery. Konaté's future is in the spotlight. Transfer news on Michael Olise heats up, and big talk around Florian Wirtz. Stay tuned, because this one's packed with drama, decisions, and transfer twists. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Carragher hands Arne Slot a $100 million warning as Reds. Boss explains team issues Arne Slot will be hoping to stop. Liverpool's losing run to 2 games as they travel to Chelsea on Saturday, but he's been given advice by a Reds legend to drop one of his major stars. Liverpool are in desperate need to earn a positive result against Chelsea on Saturday after suffering their 2nd consecutive defeat. The Premier League clash at Stamford Bridge will follow the Reds' surprise 1-0 loss to Galatasaray in the Champions League. While many expected Arne Slot's side to bounce back in Europe after their last-minute capitulation to Crystal Palace last weekend, it was yet another abject performance by the league champions, who lost Alisson Becker and Hugo Ekitike to injury during the match. Despite starting the season off with 7 wins in a row, their performances were far from convincing. Slot's side needed late winners in every victory they earned, aside from their 2-1 triumph against Everton. The lack of cohesion within Slot's new-look side has come as a surprise, given their signings of Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak, who've yet to fully settle to life in Merseyside. With Slot already being told to bench one of his marquee signings and the Dutchman himself explaining the disjointedness of his squad, Carragher's $100 million warning, Carragher offered particularly damning analysis of Liverpool's performances this season following their shock defeat to the Turkish giants. While noting they've brought in supreme talents like Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz, the Reds icon admitted they've not only lacked in attack but have become a worse team defensively. Speaking on CBS after Tuesday's match, the pundit said, "Liverpool are not playing football, they are playing basketball. It's just end-to-end, and I don't think top teams play like that, and I expressed that to the manager early on. He's obviously a fantastic manager, but right now Liverpool went from a top team, but also a workmanlike team, and they sprinkled a bit of stardust on it in terms of the transfers they brought in, and they haven't gained anything going forward, but they've lost a lot defensively. I think for the manager now, last season was such a smooth ride. He now needs to really earn his money. He did last season, won the Premier League, but there are a few problems he has to fix. It will be really interesting how he goes about it, because he spent a lot of money on certain players." Carragher specifically pointed out Wirtz, who has yet to register a goal or assist in the Premier League or Champions League, and urged Slot that he must drop the 22-year-old to the bench in order to restore the balance to the team. Right now, the balance of the team is not right, and the obvious one that stands out is Florian Wirtz. He is just not at the races at all, Carragher added. He's a young boy coming to a new league and has plenty of time to go. But right now, he needs to come out of the team. Liverpool get back to what they were last season, and then go from there to try to build some confidence and some stability. Right now, it looks like a mess. Liverpool star Giovanni Leoni provides injury update after ACL tear and surgery. Liverpool defender Giovanni Leone has confirmed he has undergone surgery on an anterior cruciate ligament. ACL. Injury. Giovanni. Leone has sent a message to the Liverpool fans after undergoing surgery on an anterior cruciate ligament, ACL, injury. The 18-year-old sustained the issue on his debut against Southampton in the Carabao Cup last month, after signing for the Reds in a $26 million deal from Parma in August. Leone had been waiting for his chance, and Arne Slot gave him that for the Carabao Cup third-round tie at home to Will Still's side. Although the Italian impressed, his debut was ended in cruel fashion as he went crashing down following an awkward challenge in the 81st minute. Following treatment from the medical staff, Leone was stretchered off, and Slot admitted after the match that it didn't look good for the teenage center-back. It was later confirmed that Leone had indeed torn his ACL, with Slot claiming in his pre-Crystal Palace press conference last Friday that he could be out for around 12 months. He is not in a good place, of course, because he tore his ACL, and it means he will be out for a year, Slot said. Being so young and coming to a new country and playing so well in your first game, it's very hard to take the positive side. There's never a positive side, but you always try to look at a positive side, and that is that he is still so young. So he has so many years still to go after he recovers from a terrible injury like that. Leoni has since confirmed he has undergone surgery on the ACL injury and took the time to thank everyone for their messages of support, with the Liverpool defender now set for a long road to recovery. In an Instagram story, Leoni said alongside an image of him in a hospital bed, "Surgery done. Thanks everyone for the messages. I'll be back soon," alongside a red love heart emoji and a folded hands emoji. Leoni will have support from the likes of Liverpool teammates Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez, who have suffered similar injuries and shown it is possible to return to the same level as before. When asked about that before his side's trip to Palace last Friday, Slot said, "I think that last thing definitely helps, and we have some examples of that with Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez. And there are a lot of examples all around the world," said the head coach. "That's why I said the positive thing is that he is still 18, so he still has a lot of time to go. If you get an injury like that when you are close to your retirement, it makes it much more difficult maybe. But in both situations, it's far from ideal. I think the main and most important thing is the surgeons that are going to do the surgery. Then second of all, the ones that do the recovery, the rehab, with him. But then it's always nice if you can do this in a surrounding with players who have lived through this as well. They can give you the right energy maybe in certain moments. And I think our players already showed in the last 2 days a lot of compassion towards him, and they will not stop doing that in the upcoming year." Arne Slot faces Ibrahima Konaté decision as Liverpool consider ripping up midfield again. Liverpool are next up against Chelsea in the Premier League, with Arne Slot facing some selection. Posers Liverpool suffered back-to-back defeats for only the second time under Arne Slot when they were beaten 1-0 at Galatasaray on Tuesday evening in the Champions League. The only goal of the game came in the 16th minute when Victor Osimhen scored from the spot after referee Clement Turpin had adjudged Dominik Szoboszlai to have fouled Barış Alper Yilmaz. Arne Slot's side now face another major test of their Premier League credentials when they travel to Chelsea on Saturday evening. And here we look ahead to the changes Slot could make when his team are next in action. Another poor performance from Ibrahima Konaté is prompting the very real possibility of the Frenchman being benched with Joe Gomez instead coming in at center back, alongside Virgil van Dijk at Stamford Bridge. With Giovanni Leoni out for the season, the only other player who could realistically start in the role is Wataru Endo, although Ryan Gravenberch has had spells in the position already this campaign. Dominik Szoboszlai was again at right back in Galatasaray, with Jeremy Frimpong pushed up into midfield and Connor Bradley benched. All three will come under consideration in the position with Slot still not having settled on a preferred choice. Milos Kerkez was among a number of Liverpool players to be below par and is under pressure from Andy Robertson at left back. And with Alisson Becker injured for the foreseeable, Georgi Mamardashvili is now the first-choice goalkeeper with Freddie Woodman his understudy. Jones to stay. The midfield continues to be a cause for concern for Slot having misfired again in Istanbul. The only consistent presence has been Gravenberch, and he will be expected to start against Chelsea. Liverpool otherwise have options. Alexis Mac Allister's underwhelming cameo at Galatasaray highlighted he remains some way short of full fitness, and Curtis Jones could be favorite to continue after a decent showing in Istanbul. Szoboszlai and Endo are alternatives, while 18-year-old Trey Nioni is still to make his Premier League debut. In the number 10 position, Florian Wirtz continues to adapt to his new surrounds, with Szoboszlai the most obvious other option, although Jones can also play in the role. Ekitike blow the injury that is likely to sideline Hugo Ekitike means Alexander Isak is almost certain to lead the line against Chelsea, especially with Federico Chiesa having been absent in Turkey. Mohamed Salah will be expected to replace Frimpong on the right flank, while the only competition for Cody Gakpo on the left at present is teenager Rio Ngumoha. Jayden Dan suffered a hamstring injury with the under-21s last weekend and remains out. Liverpool transfer news as Michael Olise's stance emerges, and January exit targeted. Liverpool transfer news as the Reds are reportedly willing to go big on Michael Olise. While a defender is said to have been targeted for a January move, it's not been a great few days for Liverpool, with Arne Slot hoping his side can offer a positive response against Chelsea this weekend. Back-to-back defeats against Crystal Palace and Galatasaray have put a dampener on what had been a perfect start to the season beforehand and have raised more questions over the integration of the Reds' summer signings. With the likes of Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak still needing more time to get up to speed with life on Merseyside, you might not think more signings would be the answer to Liverpool's current concerns. That's not going to stop the speculation before the January transfer window, though. Michael Olise, Bayern Munich. Liverpool is among a host of clubs more than willing to go big in order to sign Michael Olise next summer, according to Bild. It's claimed that the Reds, Chelsea, Manchester City, and Paris Saint-Germain are all showing an interest in the former Crystal Palace star and are prepared to pay $118,100 for his services. Bayern Munich, though, is desperate to ward off any interest in the 23-year-old amid rumors of an exit clause that activates next summer. The first steps are said to have been taken to try and get him to extend his current deal beyond 2029, with a new contract running until 2031 under discussion. Joe Gomez, Liverpool. There is a great chance Joe Gomez will join AC Milan in January, according to Italian outlet Calcio Mercato. The defender was the subject of an attempt from the San Siro club to sign him on deadline day during the summer, but the deal was called off. Milan, though, has seemingly not given up hope of landing the 28-year-old. It's suggested that the seven-time European champions are confident of securing a deal for Gomez in January. Sporting director Igli Tare is said to be an admirer of the England international, and Milan believes it could get a bargain due to his contract only running until 2027. Florian Wirtz is being unfairly treated, and Liverpool knows the real truth. Florian Wirtz is 8 games into his competitive Liverpool career, and Arne Slot will soon see the best of the German playmaker, who isn't performing as badly as some make out. Let's have it right. There is a reason that Liverpool was prepared to pay up to $157,116 million to sign Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen this summer. There is also a reason that Wirtz was ranked 29th on the Ballon d'Or list last month, one spot above Bayern Munich's Michael Olise, and one place behind new teammate Virgil van Dijk. And yet, were you to take the temperature on Wirtz at this very early stage of his Liverpool career, you would be forgiven for thinking that the Reds had signed a complete dud who has shown no signs of his true talent. It could be that I'm trying to pass the ball faster, Wirtz explained to Sky Germany last week. I recently talked to the coach about it, and he suggested why I might not be able to get into the situations I normally get into. That is, I'm making the game fast with a dribble or a pass. He said it could be because we press a lot, and I run a lot. For example, the running stats. I'm always at the top there because I try to push hard and do what the coach asks. I need a lot of strength and energy for that. When I have the ball, I might be lacking a little bit. That it will simply come step by step, as I play more games, get fitter, be able to do things more easily, and then, when I have the ball, be fit enough and recovered enough to push hard. As he has essentially admitted himself there, Wirtz is still getting used to the physical demands of being a Liverpool player. But this is not the time to panic. He almost scored against Crystal Palace and should have notched at least a couple of assists only for his teammates' poor finishing to prevent him from doing so. Right now, I don't think the balance of the team is right, and the obvious one that stands out is Wirtz. He's just not at the races at all. Jamie Carragher said on CBS Sports this week, he's a young boy coming into a new league and he's got plenty of time to go as a Liverpool player. But right now, I think he needs to come out of the team. Wirtz has not stood out so far in a positive sense. But the fixtures that Liverpool has played must also come into the equation. The only games in which he should have been able to make much more of an impact were Burnley and Everton, with Slot putting him on the bench for the latter. Bournemouth was end-to-end, and Arsenal and Newcastle United were incredibly intense. Against Crystal Palace, Slot tried a 4-2-2-2 formation, with Wirtz essentially given a free role, but it fell flat. That wasn't really Wirtz's fault, though. He is never going to be best stationed out wide on the left, and when he came inside, he simply got in the way of Mohamed Salah, who was also far too narrow, which made it easy for Oliver Glasner's back three. He's had a very disappointing start to his Liverpool career, Didi Hamann said. The German suggested that Wirtz is not only underperforming but also taking chances away from Salah, but that doesn't necessarily tell the full story.